All right, let's play some Tour 7, see if we can get some of these Koh Hong Resort ones. We'll practice some pro stuff here in the Tour 7. I was getting a bunch of these holes yesterday. Trying to remember how to play them. Here we go. And starting off, Koh Hong Resort, hole 6, par 5. I'm actually not sure. In pro, I always play... Yeah, that's the way to play this. I think if you play it with a... I think you got to bring out a big ball if you want to try and get up there to do the rough bump. And you definitely have to have a sniper. I don't think a Guardian's got enough topspin on it. We'll see. I'll bring out a little bit bigger ball. I'll bring out... Yeah, my opponent's... I'll bring out a white ball just so we can show it. And if I end up in the rough down there on the right-hand side at the bottom, there is a way to recover down there with a max overpower hook. So I'm not going to try and end up in the rough, but if I do, there is a recovery area. This is obviously easier to do with a bigger ball, especially if you have headwind. If you have headwind here, you almost have to bring in a bigger ball. So there's 4 or 5. I'm just going to leave the wind in. I decided at the last minute to put a little teeny bit of overpower on it. Just a little. Just float it out there. It seems to me, I can't remember the numbers on this, but it seems like the 400 yard range, somewhere in the 400 yards out here, that angle coming in, if you're going to try that rough bump, you've got a straight up shot. So from where I'm at, if I could make the rough bump, I'd be going off in this angle. I'd have to use some right hand side spin to bring it back to the cup. But if you can get out there just a little bit farther, you got a straighter up shot on that rough bump. Power 3 ball. Bring out a big enough ball there, you may be able to bring out a big topper. You still have to do the bounce over, but you could maximize how much run you got. Very nice. I don't think I have enough. Not even close. But if I had a power 3 ball, that's pretty good look at a rough bump right there. There's max, pretty close. Seven, 4. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 4. I hit it one ring great to the right. Arr! I thought I was going to catch that perfect. Not quite enough. Not quite enough oomph on it. You can get up there pretty easy with just, so you can imagine like where you're going to be at if you brought a bigger ball. So a bigger ball is going to give you some better options on the other end. If you got a small ball, your only option is to do that bounce over. If you bring out a bigger ball, you're going to get a little bit more distance on the drive, and you're going to be able to either do the bounce over, probably from like minimum club, or you can do the rough bump. Or you might be able to get off on the other side with a Guardian and go straight at it with backspin. Options. I do believe the low way to go is the only way to go on this hole. Now, if you're on the Masters tee, there may be some deal about going lower where you can't do that bounce over and you got to take the higher route, but the higher route blows. On the second shot. All right, shootout time. I think this is this an Oasis hole? I like this hole. This is a hole. All right, bear with me. If I have side wind, tailwind, it's usually like 5%, maybe 7.5% adjustment. If I have this kind of headwind, I'm going to do a 20% adjustment. Man, that might be a 25. If I have due headwind here, I do a 40% adjustment, and I kind of work that around on the scale. So it should be about 20, maybe 25. Let's see how good my opponent does. Headwind here on this particular hole, it kills it right there, and it'll get caught in the deal. It kills it big time. I'll do a 20% adjustment times 3.8 is 4.56 rings. .56 rings. There's 4, 5, 6. Hitting it perfect. Get a nice little run up to the cup. And there's several holes in the game. I just know from playing them enough that you've got, when you're dealing with headwind, especially on holes where you've got this water, where you've got ocean, you've got sand, you've got that little teeny bit of rough, those areas, headwind will kill it. I should have replayed that guy. I should have at least attempted to replay. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I replayed somebody yesterday. They won the first one. I won the second one. The third one, something must have happened. You know how it is, real life. You're playing and kids jump on your lap, or dogs, or the traffic light turned green. And they timed out on the first shot. So I went ahead and timed out on the first shot to get us back on track so that we could play, because we were having pretty good time. They beat me the first time just outright on the course, and I beat them the second time outright on the course. And then I freaking tanked the second shot and ended up losing. That's how it goes. Having fun. I let people catch up all the time, especially teammates. That's not a bad spot to be in if you have a Nirvana, but with a Power 2 ball, it's not nearly as good as it is with a Power 3. A little less than max. I want to be 3 rings off at the red line. It's 7-6. There's 7-6. Max curl. 1 ring inside. Where I have a problem on the inside is at the end, it's shorter at the end, and so you can run out of fairway faster. So if I was a little bit to the right there, you can see the fairway goes farther forward. So if anything great to the left, you take the risk of everything being fine until the very last gasp. That's why I put on just a little less than max topspin. Max topspin works fine if you hit that perfect or great to the right. And if I have headwind, I will pull back far enough from the red line to be able to adjust the wind out. You can do a little teeny bit of overpower. I don't like to do big overpower shots on that where you've got a spot where you know you have to terminate, because it's really easy to get everything right except for the last little bit. And in that particular spot, it's better to be where my opponent was, long into the rough, as opposed to just dribbling into the rough. I've been having problems with this shot. And I used to not have problems with this shot, and I had problems with just getting up in here. Man, that wind blows. Okay, 8-4. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 4. Hit it 2 rings great on the outside. Got a little unlucky with how it rolled out, but got a little lucky that it stopped. It was a weird roll through that rough area. That shot is obviously more... The drive shot, you have to adjust it if you use power 1 ball, because you won't have to put as much topspin on there. I think if I was playing that in tournament play, it'd probably be just a little teeny bit, like 1 topspin. Quarterback works really, really well on that hole. But it does help to bring out a bigger ball for the second shot. But you will have to adjust your first shot, your drive. In tournament play, we always bring out a little bit bigger ball and try and go straight forward. This is a hard hole to Albie, but there is a desired spot to get into if you want to try to really want to try and get Albie. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Eagle. All right. I remember when this hole first came out. This hole is brutal. They didn't have as big a ball collection back then. I mean, there was very limited balls. So when some of these holes came out, they were super tough because we just had... There wasn't as many... Why didn't I try and replay? Oh, what am I thinking? And they've made it easier to exit out because... Dang, Ricky. Yeah, let's get this one going. Maybe save a few gems. I haven't fully practiced the winter sun stuff. I may practice tomorrow and post some video tomorrow. I'm just going to go out there and have fun. Blast off a few. All right, I bring this bag right here just for this hole. I'm going to do about 3 topspin. I like to be centered up on this little island, so I give myself plenty of room. There's no reason to pressure yourself. That's 8. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 4. I'll do a little less than 4 rings. A little bit of curl for flavor. Hitting it perfect. Floating it out there. I'm not sure what the distance is here. Is it 400? 335. That sounds about right. I keep encountering people. These special balls, this blows me away. Now, I will tell you that if you've got lower developed clubs, the first shot's not hard. You can do it with a freaking rocket. There's not much to the drive. getting yourself out there. It's the second shot. If you've got lower developed clubs, it's all about distance. I just know from playing this hole a lot, this hole has been in Tour 7. Hell, I mean, it may be original. It's been here forever. Now watch, I'll tank the shot, but all you got to do is, oh, this isn't hard. Okay, a max about 2.5. Okay, 5.3. It's 1.1 per ring, so a ring set's 5.5. Hit it one ring great on the inside, one ring great to the right. So for most of a Guardian's life, it only has, when it gets towards upper Guardian, it gets to that point where it gets that 2.5 topspin. And if you take a Guardian, you take an extra mile with 3 topspin, max left-hand side spin, a little teeny bit of curl just to bring you around, and put yourself out there on the drive and go out there with a Guardian with 2.5 topspin, maximum right-hand side spin, max OP, starting off 3 rings off on that transitional surface on the left-hand side, take the wind out. If I'm working up against headwind, obviously it's tougher. But if you've got a level 9 Guardian, then you can put that last little gasp on there, and that's usually enough. And you take that shot with that. And you can use a Marlin to get on. The only time you ever have a problem there is when you can hit that second shot great to the left or the right, about 2 rings. Potentially, and I missed that. Potentially even maybe 3 rings on the outside. On the inside, when it comes up towards the hole, depending on how much curl you put on it, you could end up clipping up there by the sand, but it's a pretty easy shot. Pretty easy. With a Marlin, it's a super consistent way to go at it. I actually do not like getting on that hole. That's one of the things I like about having multiple bags, is because I know I'm playing Tour 7 and I run into this hole, and there's a couple other holes in Tour 7 where I prefer to play them with a Guardian. And so having that extra mile Guardian bag, I really suck on that particular hole that we just played a minute ago if I'm not using a Guardian. All right. And I'm going to do, oh man. I'm going to do, if I can get this done in time, times 8 equals divided by 1.1 is 10 rings. Whew. There's 5. There's 10 and a titch. Hitting it perfect. Can't believe I got that off in time. I was looking at that wind going, I better bring out a calculator in order to get that wind right. And so if you watched the one earlier, that was with a 40% wind adjustment. Is that right? Yeah, that was 1.4 times 8. That gave me 11.2. And I did max club, even though I wasn't quite at max club, which is 1.1 per ring. And so the last time I was here, we had about probably at a 45 headwind, and I did a 2. Pretty similar result, real close to the cup. You've got to move your adjustment around on a hole like this. We really do on every hole, but these particular types of holes where you have water and sand like this, it is so easy to do exactly what my opponent did. I love getting on this particular hole, and there's several other par 3s and shootouts, because if we get on this hole and we get headwind, I feel like I have a really good shot of winning, because most people get that adjustment wrong. Excellent. I remembered to replay somebody and they wanted to replay. Look at that. Battery. is low. Probably should plug my device in, huh? Since I'm sitting right here by the charging station. I go first, and this hole right here is decidedly difficult. I'm gonna just try and see if I can not get in the rough over there. I don't think it's possible, but I'm just gonna try and hit it straight forward. Hitting it perfect. See if I got my wind adjustment right. I just want to just barely make it over. That was excellent idea. Poor execution. Close. It actually carried just a little bit farther. Probably, and I think we do on this hole do like a 10% adjustment. There's a rough bump that you can do on this hole if you bring out a bigger ball from rookie and from pro. That is beautiful. You can also take a sniper up here, or excuse me, not a sniper, but a QB or a rock. Let's curl. Kingmaker. In rookie, I use a rock for the rough bump because you can get way up in the rough bump. Opponent tried the same thing and had the same result. I almost got it right. Almost. Not quite. See if I can get it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if I made a good wind adjustment. In the hole. Eagle. In tournament play, this is a hole you have to get an eagle on. It's not a choice. This you got to treat this par 4 as if it was a par 3, and if you don't get an eagle on it, then you failed. It's a pass-fail test. I mean, obviously you can come here and not get an eagle on it, but your chances of doing good in that tournament, you've got to get eagles on this hole. Good game. Good game. See if they'll replay again. Come on, dude. One more time. Come on. I'll let you win some of your money back. Come on, dude. Sucker. Dang it. That's all right. I didn't have any slots open anyways. I would have been giving them one. Let's open up some chests, clear out some slots. I have no idea what's in those. Open up lots of chests and you'll get lots of cards, and eventually you'll get them upgraded. The deal is that I think it's easier to get cards now, it seems, and there's this golf pass does give you more cards than your daily pin chest. I will say that, because I'm seeing some cards that I haven't seen in a long time that I'm getting, like, you know, like epic stuff. I gotta get 200 more to get another one. What did I get here? I must have got an emoji, right? Where's the new one? Not again. I want to change one of these around. I want to get this Let's Play again a little closer. All right, here we go. Hole number. Let's get hole number 9. Let's get hole number 9 of Koh Hong. Let's go out there and see what it looks like. Lend me a quid. Brotherhood. The Brotherhood clan. This is a hole that in the tournament, and I will tell you with headwind, this is brutal to try and get around that bend. Let's bring out a little bit bigger stuff. Let's just be a douche. And let's bring out some bigger stuff. And actually, what I want to do is come over here. Oh, and there's no freaking way against that headwind that I'm going to be able to get around that bend. We'll try it. Let's go out and just have some fun since we're on one of the tournament holes. Let's see if we can find a spot. We'll just pick a spot out there. It doesn't matter. I got it on video. This is one of the benefits of recording yourself, and you can see where you hit and like where you need to make adjustments to try and get around the bend. I needed to come in on that shot, so I needed to come to the right at least a ring. I had plenty of room up at the top. If I would have used a Kingmaker there instead of a Titan, I would have easily been in the fairway right there against a headwind. So you can go back and rewind that video and find the spot where I started the shot off. Usually the very first time I set up a shot, I'm doing one of those, I'll just go out there and find a spot that I think looks about right and take it. And then from that first shot, you can tell. Now, wind is always a variable because sometimes certain winds kill those max overpower hook shots more than others. Let's see if I can do the rough bump from here. I could. I don't know if I have enough. Do I have enough backspin to get me there? I do. I'm way short. 3-8. And I screwed up because I forgot to check to see where I was in my club. I'm going to go that much. And I'm going to hit it 75,000 rings great to the right. Distance looked about right. I think I was a little long. It rolled out a little bit more than I anticipated it was going to. Not the spot I was looking for. I really wanted to get just like right out there in front. I think there's a max overpower hook shot from the other side, but the deal there is I think with that particular type of wind, it might be harder. It'd be really nice to figure out both of those max overpower hook shots so you have a spot that you know works. And then if you look at the wind and go, man, on this side here I'm getting like absolutely due headwind, but from over here I'm getting sidewind and it's not going to affect as much. You can switch the max overpower hook shot up. That may be one of the few holes in the game where we actually have two different ways we can max overpower hook shot it and get the same result. In the hole. That shot from the top up there, I've had to take the shot from the top, not where you're laying it up there at the top, but I've been in the sand and had to take it over the trees down to the little island. And I know from up there on my notes, I have written down that if I'm up there with my sandwich, then I'm doing a 50% wind adjustment. And I know it sounds crazy, but there is a massive wind adjustment from up there. I think if you're in the layup spot, it's probably not that bad, but if you're way back, it seems bad. It seems really bad. All right, this is one of the holes that we have, and I can't even remember which freaking hole this is. I think I'm doing, seems like I was doing a 15% wind adjustment here. 1.15 times 3.3, but that's in rookie, so I have no freaking clue where I'm going to be at in pro. We'll see where it ends up. And I hit it great to the left. It's definitely different with the sniper. There's definitely a spot down there where you can see when you put the max backspin on it and you push it forward, where you're getting that rough bump effect, and it's making it so that the first bounce is hitting on that little hill. Then you're getting the rough bump effect, and it's making the ball take a very low trajectory jump. And so it loses a bunch of distance on the other end and doesn't roll past the hole like that. There's a really small spot down there. You really got to get that wind adjustment right. And I obviously did not. I know that from playing it from rookie to pro, there is a difference on the adjustment that we're going to take going to the cup. That was a good game. Good game. Nice shot. See if they'll play again. No dice. They took my money and ran. Let's see if we can go get it back. Somebody's going to give us some cash. See, I'm playing Tommy right here. The Laid Back Clan. This is another hole. This is a hole right... Oh, man, this wind sucks. I mean, sucks. What kind of ball are they using? They're using a 4-power ball, so they got some stuff. So I can bring out Titans if I want to. See if my opponent can get this with that 4-power ball, which they absolutely do not freaking need. You can play this with a Marlin. If you're going to play over here, you can play with a Marlin. I'll tell you what. I wish there was a forfeit and I can get that ball. Of course, they hardly ever get any playtime out of me because everybody uses a special ball down here. And it's like, what are you doing? Here, let's see what we can do with just a freaking Titan. And let's bring that back. Okay, it's 1.5 per ring, so there's 3, there's 4, 5. There's 5. I'm going to do 5 and a little. That puts me about 2.5 rings into power. Hitting it perfect. And let's see if I put too much power on there and clip the rough right here. Or if I make it not quite enough. Not quite enough hop. Not quite enough. I didn't have the overpower right. I lost a little bit on the first shot. If you clip the rough on the other end where I clip the rough, it's not a bad deal. But if you clip the rough up there at the top, you could be in a spot of bother. My opponent definitely did not bring the right club. From that spot right there with the big dog, you could do the rough bump. Crappy ball guide, but if you knew how much topspin you need to put on there to get out, and I would imagine that it doesn't take very much. I know I've done that rough bump a bunch of times, but unless you're in that spot, I try not to remember all of the little minutia. That way I can still have surprises on holes. What's funny is, as many times I played this hole, I don't think I've ever seen anybody hit it back there. I didn't even realize there was a backboard on this hole. What do we got? There's max. There's min. So there's mid. Mid club is 1.4 per ring. Not quite enough topspin to get me there. Barely enough backspin. I'm going to do a 3-6 pull. There's 3-6. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Come on. Nah, that's not a good graphic. Distance was good. Close. And which way was the wind blowing? If you go back and look at that, I probably did not have to do the 10%. Or I might have had to do 20%. One of the two. I probably overpulled it because I was in mid-club. I did. That was me. That was all my mistake. That's another good thing about recording your own videos. You can look at a hole and you can go, what the hell happened there? That was a weird thing in the game. And then you go back and you really kind of look at what you did. And you went, oh, I made a math error. So I was at mid-club. I should have did 1.4 per ring, and I think I did 1. So I overpulled it. All right, let's see if we can get this hole right this time. I know that I can get this sniper to stop. I was in the wrong spot last time. .8. I'm going to do a 2-ring pull. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if this one will stop. It stopped at the bottom of the cup. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. It's getting that first landing spot right so that you can get that rough bump effect. See if my opponent goes to the other side. I still see a lot of people hit off of this side of this, and now I understand if you bring the wrong club, you may have to do something weird, but in tournament play, I see a lot of people hit on that side. I wonder how far they can get forward. With that power 4 ball, they could probably do a dunk. They probably have a better shot of dunking it. In the hole. Come on. Get in the hole. Good shot. Nice shot. That was a nice shot with the big dog. Very nice. All right, see if they will. See if they want a rematch. No dice. We're gonna get one more person to rematch. How much time have we got on there so far? 40 minutes. Plenty of time. Let's open up a chest. Clear out a slot. So I'm working on my cards, and I only have, let's see, I've got a rock, and my rock is at like 800 and something cards. I've got my Grizzly, which is a little shy of 500. I have a Razor, which has got like 460 cards on it. and my Houdini has got less than 200. They're all level 8. Those are the last 4 rares that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to max out my rock. My rock is number 1. If my rock is one of my choices, it's the number 1 card. I'm maxing it out next. And then after it will be my Grizzly. And then I'm going to max out my Houdini, because the maxed out Houdini is a club that has a spot occasionally in the bag on some holes. And then I'm going to leave my Razor at level 8, and I'm never going to max it out. And that'll get me to the point where I'll get 2 epic choices each day. I've picked 6, and I picked 7 epics that I want to invest coins in, or invest cards in. I'm going to go 5 rings off of that. Actually, I'm going to go 4 rings. 4 rings off the transition on the right hand side, about 2.5 top spin. 9 2. There's 5. There's 9 4. Max curl. Hit it 1 ring great on the outside. 1 ring great to the right. And overhit it into that sand. I can't believe that I was able to get that much extra out of it with 2 topspin. Usually, well, maybe sometimes I get there and I only do 1. My opponent's much further forward than me, so they're going to have a much easier shot to get on. So I've got 7 epics that I've picked, and so I'll be able to get 2 epic choices a day. If one of those 7 epics is in there, then I'm going to pick them. There's several epics that I have close to level 7, and I'm trying to get to level 7, but that's probably as far as I'm going to take them. But they get to that spot at level 7 where they become extremely usable cards. Okay, it's 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm going to put some curl on it to bring it back, but not a lot. Hit it 2 rings great on the inside, which is bad. Not on the first bounce. On that second bounce. Whew. Close. So my epics, see if I have that piece of paper here. I don't have that piece of paper. Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse, obviously. Cataclysm. My Cataclysm I'm going to put points into for a while. I'm right at that point where it's matching up with the big dog, so it can take the big dog's place, and it's got a little bit better. I think it's got a little bit better ball guide at that point. I don't think there was anything in the long iron range. I know. I don't think there was anything in the long iron range I was putting points into. Or club card trading into. At this time. And that might change as I get some of these other ones to level 7 and I can reevaluate, but at this time there's none of the long irons that I'm putting points into. I've got my Grim Reaper is like it's like 5 or 6 cards away from being level 7. And think about it takes 384 cards, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood to get from level 0 to level 7, and then it takes 400 to get from 7 to 8. So it takes more to get to 8 than it does to get to 7. %, adjustment. 2 2. There's 1 2 2. No, I hit great to the left. I know a Spitfire was in there. Off-roader. Off-roaders, I think my off-roader's only like level 5, so I got a long ways to go on my off-roader. It might be getting towards level 6, but I think it's still level 5. What were those? Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse, Cataclysm, Off-roader, Spitfire, Kingfisher was another one, but Kingfisher is the last on my list. So like if the Kingfisher is there with one of those other ones, it's the last one on my list. And then there was one other. I can't remember what it was. Where the hell did I write those down? How come you guys aren't keeping track of this for me? And I've got 6 on there, and those are the 6. But it seemed like there was another one that I was considering. Nice game. Good game. Nice shot. Good game. At some point, I could potentially run out of all the other cards and all of the other clubs, and I could upgrade that Razor, and then all of the stuff that I dumped in it, I'd be able to utilize. But I want to keep one rare, because what I know is going to happen is we'll have those days where my choices, and I'm not saying that the Horizon's not a great card club, but there's stuff I would rather put my points into. There'll be some day where it's like that. It'll be Horizon, Boomerang, Amazon, or Jungleist. Castaway's a great card too. And the Sahara's a great card. So like if you were working your stuff up, this Sahara is a great card. But if you look at the end results, like when the Spitfire gets to level 7, would you rather have a level 7 Spitfire or a level 7 Sahara? And when you're talking about points, it's trying to build them up. I'm gonna try and dump more points into the clubs. That way I'm not spreading them out so much. So I'm going to keep one of my rares not upgraded. And I'll have 2 epic choices a day. And if I have 7 epics that I have to choose from, that's 30%, 33%. So I should hopefully, and it's not going to work out that way because you know how they give us the stuff. But I want to have that rare there so that I can dump stuff into it. Dump club cards in. All right, let's play a couple more. How many? What we got? I can play a couple more. I can. We'll play 2 more and see if we can get somebody to replay. Seminole, Florida State Seminoles. Seminole goes first. It's a tough wind. My opponent's playing with a katana. And a Thor's Hammer 3. Thor's Hammer, when it gets to level 5, it finally starts showing its stuff. Here we go. Through the trees. Bang, bang. Pinball. Playing Golf Clash pinball right there. And I've done that a bunch of times. I'll probably do it right now. Four one. This line, pretty close to 2 rings into power. Hit it 1 ring, 2 rings, great to the right. Right into that tree. That's a tough spot right there. You can get on from right there. You gotta, And actually, it might not be too bad because I'm going to have to start way off to the left in order to get to the cup. At least I'll have a shot at it. This is another key hole to get an eagle on when you're playing in tournaments. That island over there is a tough shot, but that's the shot you really want to work on when you're playing in tournaments. This is the second par 4 that I ever got a hole in one on, and that little island definitely works. Definitely. Kmart sucks. That could be in the hole. No dice. Got their adjustment wrong. All right, let's see if we can hit this perfect and get in the hole. If I hit this perfect, it's going in. If I can get a line to the cup. Whew, I can't. All right, let's see if we got that right. Yep, and I hit it great on the inside. If I got the wind adjustment wrong, that might be right. And it's not. It's one of those times where you know you got the wind adjustment right, and you're going, maybe I got it wrong. And you're rooting for the other guy. See if my opponent can get in the hole. In the hole. Put the ball to draw. So on that club card trading, I still have like 60 days before I get all. I had kept that Houdini down. I didn't get a lot of cards for my Houdini. It was the very last rare that I got maxed out. And then now that I'm down to these last 4 rares, I've spent a bit of time looking at them, and I'm definitely not going to use that razor. Ever. So I don't want to get it. It doesn't matter if it gets to level 9. It doesn't matter if it was still level 1. I'm still never going to use it. I did use it for a while when I first started playing. You're going to use a lot of those clubs when you first start playing. Somebody commented on my YouTube channel here a week or so ago about they were watching a video and my rock distance was different than theirs. At a lower level, I had less distance than they do, and I was higher level than them. For those of you that, about a year ago, in December of 2019, they did a club buff. They buffed a bunch of clubs, and then a week later, they came out with the club card trading. Three 9. That's 4 4 4. I'm gonna do a 4 4 adjustment. There's 4 5. Hitting it perfect. El Perfecto. Let's see if I got my spot right. So I stop, or if it scoots. Got the spot right this time. It was a glitch the first time we were at this hole. Winner, chicken dinner. Let's see if they'll replay. Come on. Come on, Florida State. Hell no. You guys run away from us, Pac-12 guys. Let's play one more just so I can fill up all my slots. It looks like it might be a gold chest, so let's fill that up. We'll just play one. No replay. Unless we lose. Then we'll definitely try and replay. Not one of the holes we are looking for. we had a big tailwind here, I'd bring out a power 3 ball and we could try to get over. It's near impossible, but if you had a tailwind, at least I could get deep out into the rough. I actually like the second shot, deep in the rough, better than the best spot you can get to from down below. Now, if you bring out a bigger ball, it's a little easier. My opponent is... There's a word for that. And it's not a 4-letter word, but the first 4 letters are definitely a 4-letter word. I'm going to bring number 2 bag. Max. Three rings. I pulled back a little just so I had a little bit of room. Got about half a ring into power. Max curl. Just a little teeny bit of overpower. Just for flavor. And I hit it great to the right, which is better for me when you're using overpower because you don't know if you put too much and you might overshoot it. And the fairway's longer to the right. I took that shot forever and a day with a QB. And then when I got my rock up in level, another one of my viewers, we've been having a conversation about the rock and the QB. For me, the way that I play, my QB was my absolute primary accurate club. And then some holes, the rock worked better because you needed a little bit of extra raw distance, but the topspin wasn't as important. And some holes you didn't need that extra raw distance, but you needed the topspin for the other side of whatever it was trying to get around. Let's pull back a little. Four, 6. I'm going to do a full ring set. Right back to the red line. Put a little bit of curl. Okay, now one ring great to the left. Just dribbling up on there. I actually hit an Albie one time on a shot like that where you just got... The deal on this hole is if you hit an Albie on that second shot from where I was at, it was pure luck. This spot where my opponent's at right here is the spot that you're trying to get to on the drive to be in the perfect spot for an Albie. And the club here is a Grim Reaper because it's got 100% backspin, and you can come at it from this angle because the backside, you've got just enough distance on the green that you can bring a Grim Reaper, and if you miss it, it'll still stay on the green. If you bring a Saturn, a 92 sounds like a lot of backspin, but it's not quite enough. This is definitely not my cup of tea here. And I missed it. Can't believe I made that. That was close. That was close. Good game. All right. I'll give them a chance to win their money back, and I did win a gold chest there. Let's see if they replay me. Nope. Good. Excellent. Ended it with a win and 4 chests across. There we go. Perfect. And I set a timer for an hour, and look at that. The timer just went off. Was that absolutely perfect or what? Collect. All right, there we go. Some Tour 7. Some of the holes that we're looking for in the tournament, playing them from the Pro Tees. This entire, I think all of the Koh Hong Resort holes, we can play these. I played these holes with the Marlin in Tour 7. And there are some of those holes that are, the bigger par 5s are a little more difficult when you're dealing with headwind. and you may have to bring out a bigger ball. But this course is pretty, you can put yourself in the right spot. It may just be my impression of the game, but when you're out there playing one-on-one, if you know how to make adjustments for your clubs and you're playing with a marlin ball, just a zero power ball, there's a lot of times it seems like you can get drops that when you bring out a bigger ball, you're in a different spot, and the numbers are different, and it's not, you have to start making adjustments when you start bringing out a bigger ball. Sometimes it puts you in the right spot, and you can take shots that you couldn't take with the lower level ball. But this course in particular, I think you can play the entire course with a low level ball if you want, and still have a pretty good result. All right, that was some Tour 7. Thanks for watching.